mat. And I got my board that I started working on yesterday. Actually, got a lot of stuff going on here. Bin of ceramic stuff for sculpting. And the tray I'm working on. And I got it separated from my other classes that I'm working on. Got some improvised shelfware. So yesterday I had to stop mid-demonstration. But we got the sole of the shoe cut, and I've got a decent-sized slab left. The other thing I'm going to want is my paper shoe maquette, or model. Those words kind of interchange. And I've got a separate Ziploc bag I'm keeping my tools in, I guess. I sent everybody home with at least a paper clip. All you need is a paper clip and some tape, and I guess a pencil, and you can kind of upgrade your paper clip into a needle tool or into a loop tool. And these work great for carving. The paper clip on this one juts out a little too much, but it's so superbly easy to do, and it makes working with your clay a little bit easier. The other thing you can use is just like dowel rod. I don't know how much stuff you have lying around your house. This one's almost too long to fit into the video, but you can just cut off a section. Whew. And ta-da, got a handle. Or if you don't have that lying around, you could use just an old pencil and some tape. Paper clip, pencil I can use for a handle, and my roll of tape. And just wrap that bad boy up. Or if you're like, man, Mr. Harvey, this is a lot of work. Why do we have to make our own tools? I guess if you're not balling on a budget like me, you could go onto Amazon or Michael's, or you could go to Walmart or Target even. Target, maybe not, but I know Walmart and Michael's have clay tools that you can get. I like my DIY ones. So I've got the sole of my shoe. Now I need to get these side pieces cut out. And I think my slab should be big enough to get at least one of them. But first I'm going to, I guess, dismantle my paper maquette. And I'm looking around my desk to figure out what I do with my scissors. And of course, I can't seem to find them. But I do have this hobby knife that will work to just split the seams on my paper maquette. I guess it's just masking tape. I'm going to rip it. So, I don't know, the beautiful maquette I made, I guess it still works from one side. And now it's like a skeleton model of my shoe. But now I've got perfect size stencil to cut out the pieces that I need. And hopefully it'll fit on your slab. It's a little too short. You can thin it out a little. The books that I used as slats work for keeping it even to about 1/4 inch. But if I go a tiny bit thinner, I'm going to use my Lysol rolling pin to just stretch it out a tiny bit. I'm going to roll it the other way too. My room could use a little spritz of that anyways. Okay. A couple rolls later, and perfect. I'm just lightly going to trace this first. And then once I get rid of the paper from our maquette, oops. I can cut out my pieces. And I guess adding the handle to my paperclip needle tool really does make it a bit easier. Great. And all these bits I've got left are too small to make any of the other slab pieces, so I'm just going to kind of mash them back together. And keep them in this bag, because I'll be able to use them later to add some of those sculptural elements. But, gotta seal my bag up. Squeeze out as much of the air as I can. I want to grab my other bag of clay. Oops. Wonderfully organized. So you should have your second bag with another chunk of clay in it. Same size as the first one, so we should be able to get our 2 pieces out of it. So I'm going to bag these and set them aside so I have a little more room to roll out my second slab. Block of clay. Oh, it's beautiful. Still nice and plastic, too. And I'm going to use my books as slats for my slab again. And, no, not the rolling pin. I haven't used it yet, and I don't want to get dirty. So I got that Lysol. And I'm not sponsored, but then you just want to roll it over your clay. You can pick it up. And if it's still too thick, you can use the palm of your hand to kind of squish it out. And then just use your rolling pin or can of Lysol to get it nice and even. And it's still kind of bowed out in the middle. So I really want to press those pieces and then squish it out to the sides. And then boom, slide number 2. Looks good. And I only got my books a little dirty. So the other 2 pieces I know I need for my maquette is this side and the top of the sneaker. And I can cut both of those out. Well, I know one side is just the same as the other, and the sole of the shoe, or the top of the shoe, is just a little bit smaller than the sole of the shoe. So I'm going to plop that piece down. And should be able to fit everything on there. I didn't leave you guys a lot of room for mistakes, but I'll show you how you can reclaim your extra clay when I go over how to add detail. So, again, just trace the templates that you pulled from your maquette. Yeah, if you were really picky and you wanted to get that exact size of the top of the shoe, you could pull your maquette all the way apart and trace that, but I know that it's just almost the size, a little bit smaller than the sole of the shoe. And it just kind of curves about right there. And then use your needle tool to cut that piece out. And, oh, careful. Cut out the other side of your shoe. Beautiful. You can peel away your extra clay. And add that to one of the bags that your chunk started in. You've probably got a very misshapen ball of clay left. Next thing you're going to want is that jar of slip that you made and a fork or you can keep using a needle tool to do your scoring and slipping. It's just got more points on it, so it makes things go a little bit faster. But then you just have to start piecing pieces of your shoe back together. Not the paper shoe. I guess I feel like I need to reassemble my maquette. There we go. All whole. Start assembling your shoe the same way you started assembling your paper maquette, but instead of glue, you're going to be scoring and slipping. And you can kind of dry fit everything to make sure it fits, whether it's going around the outside of the sole of your shoe or on the top edge of the sole of your shoe. Mine fit just around the outside edge, so I can see it all fits there. So now I know I'm going to be scoring along here and along this side of the shoe. And I can really get into it with a fork. So this loosens up the clay on the surface and gives it a more porous, I guess, is that the opposite of smooth? A rougher surface that the clay is going to be able to attach to better. But if you remember from our introduction to clay, that little Ed puzzle, or if you had ceramics before, scoring and slipping isn't complete without adding some slip. So you could just dip your finger in there and fish some out, but if you don't want to get a total mess, now is when it would be really helpful to grab a paintbrush. And I've got probably more water than I need in my mixture, but all the slip's down there behind the murky water towards the bottom. So if I can scoop some up, start adding it. The more the merrier. Just kind of want to dab it on there. You don't want to brush it in too much, otherwise you're going to smooth out all the scoring that you did, and you won't get a very good connection. But piece that together, and don't be afraid to really smush it in.